Welcome to the breakdown where we break down all the messed up movies. Today, we're talking about the sequel, yet also bigger budget soft remake of Tetsuo the Iron Man. We have Tetsuo 2, Body Hammer. Body Hammer? Seriously though, Tetsuo 2 is directed by Shinya Tsukamoto, who directed the first and starred in the first as the metal fetishist. He plays a similar role in this movie alongside the main character, Tomo Taniguchi. Tomo's actor was also the salaryman in the first movie. Speaking of, if you haven't seen the first movie, click on the eye in the top right for my video on it. But never mind that. This video is a collaboration with Cinema Nippon. Cinema Nippon makes very insightful analysis on various Japanese films, and we last collaborated on the video Pulse. Well, they also uploaded a top tier analysis on Tetsuo 2, Body Hammer, right next to my upload. So either click the eye in the top right or go down to the link in the description to check out their analysis of this right after the video. I thank Cinema Nippon for working with me on this one. Make sure you check them out and tell them where you came from, and check out their huge library if you're interested. Okay. So let's see what Tetsuo 2 has in store. This video is full of anime references, by the way. If you want to see what happens, including all the messed up parts, stay tuned for the breakdown. Cue the Gohan. The movie begins with Peter Griffin making his way home. Crazy how I say Peter Griffin just because he's big and drunk. Well, whoever this is, he's still able to notice some weirdos following him. In fact, we are looking through their point of view, and the stalker pretends to shoot at the man with his finger, like psh, psh. Nothing happened, right? Until this guy literally blows up. Whoever this guy is, he has the power to shoot delayed energy shots. Kinda reminds you of this anime, doesn't it? This Iron Man has a complete metal heart too. And here goes that bigger budget, right? A whole new high quality title card to bring us into the movie. I could have zoomed in Body Hammer though, you don't need a big budget for that. Let me introduce you to Tomo Taniguchi. He wakes up crying in his wife Kana's lap. Also Kana, the actress that plays Kana, played the subway lady, the metal lady from the first movie. Right off the bat, the surroundings are way less bleak than the first movie. Turns out the dad's dream was him as a child, right after he was adopted, but he has no memory of the past before adoption. I don't think Tomo likes this metal and concrete jungle very well. I can already tell you how this modern world leaves everyone blending in, right? Even if you don't want to. Later, he is with his family at the mall. Tomo accidentally runs into two metallic creeps. Unlike most people, Tomo is very wary of them, and good reason. They literally jack his son at GameStop, then they shoot him with some weird weapon. Tomo's wife Kana wastes no time. She's running like the female Titan. Seriously, they chase the two, but it's like Tomo's going nowhere with his side hurting. I hate that side hurt. I love the music, by the way. Here, take a listen. The couple run all the way out of the subway to the top of a building to get their son. Tomo's barely hanging on, but then he sees his son's two shoes sitting on top of the scaling. He didn't jump, did he? It was just a ruse, and the fake Terminators push him over the roof and taunt him. However, something weird happens inside of him. Perhaps a transformation. Right before falling, Kana saves her husband from falling all the way down. But at least their son is safe and sound. He's smiling too, looked like he had a great time. It doesn't feel good almost dying, and even before that barely able to keep up. Still, they shot him with something and changes are happening inside. Regardless, Tomo feels the need to get stronger. He goes to the gym, but he's not getting as strong as he'd like. He's struggling until he thinks about those sickos who stole his son. I know this is unrelated, but he actually resembles Mr. Chan in the Chinese movie Red to Kill in these cutaways. I love the atmosphere when the family is together like this. Feels good listening to Tomo recall some memories of his forgotten childhood. Suddenly, a phone call from those villains who stole his son. Well, guess what? They stole his ass again while they were in here reminiscing. But damn, does the son not know how to scream for help? And son, he's just out there smiling and waving like I don't know, Piccolo training a willing Gohan. Tomo gets absolutely mollywopped by one of the villains. Mollywopped. Literally got dusted on and thrown off the roof again. This is some Jackie Chan luck without the Jackie Chan moves. Well, this time Tomo climbs up on his own, but sees the villain about to do that Daniel LaRusso kick. Actually, he's holding the kid's shoes and said he dropped the boy. This sudden revelation makes Tomo so angry and he transforms. It's like if Tony Stark wore his suit inside out. Tomo grows a metal energy gun from his arm and shoots at the villain, but they use his son as a shield. He literally destroyed his son on accident. That's ultimate despair, and his wife saw everything. Pretty soon, Metal seems to completely surround Tomo, almost like another process. He wakes back up blabbering that he is remembering something, but his wife is afraid of him. Elsewhere, it turns out those villains are a part of some shrunk collective of weightlifters. The leader of the collective is Prime Minister. No, I'm just kidding. He kind of looks like a Prime Minister. He kind of looks like Dr. Octopus too. Turns out he is the scientist who had these two shoot that subject, and that subject was plain normal Tomo. Eventually they kidnap Tomo to bring him back to the metal ground. They put him in a helmet contraption, and the scientist plans on messing with his memories. I don't know who this guy in the bath is yet, but he looks like somebody Yusuke would fight. Deep inside the mind of Tomo, he is presented with his child running away from him. His pants get full of pots and pans, and so he's running a lot slower. This memory machine is causing Tomo's body to transform even more. A big metal gun makes its way out of his chest and destroys the area before seeping back inside. Well, now they know the power of the experiment, and the scientist calls for his execution. That gun in his hand is gonna make a lot of metal men. That's what that is for. And turns out this guy is Yatsu, played by the director Shinya Tsukamoto, who also played the metal fetishist in the first movie. Yatsu basically means that person or that guy, that dude, Cub Scouts. Yatsu used the scientist to create a weapon that gives others his powers, and then he murdered him without a second thought. He only wants destruction. However, right before they can execute their test subject Tomo, he uses his gun growths to murder the guy who planned to kill him in Tony Montana fashion. Looks like their test subject is actually a threat to their plans. Whoever this metal cult is, they're very caring of each other. So when their brother gets killed, one of them literally shoots himself with that metal converter. That's what I'll call it. Their goal is simple: use their abilities to destroy Tomo before destroying everything in their path. And then Yatsu slides back into his liquid bed. Meanwhile, Tomo is escaping and tries to get a call in, only to get bullied by that cult shooting energy blast at him. Now, that looks like a nice boss. I love me a good boss fight, but Tomo is too scary. And this guy, he couldn't really be on Tomo's level. When the cultist mentions his son, Tomo literally transforms into a chest gun, overwhelming him and blowing his insides apart with monstrous sounds. Looks like he can willingly transform back into human form, unlike the salaryman from the first movie. That dude was stuck. The guy Tomo just killed utters his last words, a flashback in which Yatsu finds him and shows him his metal abilities. Yatsu was the guy from the beginning, by the way, who killed that drunk guy. It seems to me that he couldn't imbue projectile abilities into him, but he could imbue a healthy dose of strength. Well, now he can with the help of the metal converter gun and creates an army of metal men. However, will they be a match for Tomo's potential? Okay guys, listen up because this is crazy. Back at home, Kana discovers that when Tomo was shot before the kidnapping of their son, the shot actually didn't penetrate his skin. In other words, the rich wallet blocked the metal converter from turning Tomo into a metal man. So Tomo just had these metal abilities all along. I hope that's not confusing. The cultists didn't know this, of course. His wife is afraid of him though, and I honestly forgot that their son Minori was killed. She's having a Boknam level breakdown thinking about it. I'd hate to lose a child, especially because of me. She leaves the whole building to mourn, but the metal cult yanks her right off the street. Tomo grabs a bike, but he looks like he's trying to get back to Grove Street. Seriously though, he's going really fast. It's like his metallic powers are helping him, and he says now he's really angry. Of course, he has some reasons why. Eventually, he just literally starts gliding on the wall faster than Spider-Man could, but they knock him off the car. The cultists escape back to their metal factory. However, it's bad news on their side. Remember when Yatsu used the gun that the scientists made to turn all the cult members into beings similar to Tomo and himself? Well, turns out that the gun didn't do its job. All of the cult members are rusting, and they don't seem to be able to use any powers. Tomo was just built different, and he didn't even need that gun, remember? He had the powers deep inside, just like Yatsu, and he hugs a failed cult member before his eventual death, I suppose. Alright, time for the final showdown. Tomo finds out where they are holding his wife, Kana, but Tin Man says if he kills him, then Kana will die. Looks like Tomo doesn't care about the fact that Kana is in danger and destroys him anyway. See all that blood squirting out? Hostages mean nothing to him. Now clearly there seems to be some history behind Yatsu and Tomo. However, Yatsu seemingly kills Kana, and this makes Tomo go crazy and go stupid. He transforms into body hammer mode. That kind of sounds cool. What do y'all like best, boat form or body hammer mode? Yatsu is ready to stylishly combat the body hammer. To be transparent, this is just the energy blast battle all over the factory. Yatsu loves to say happy birthday to him though. He's literally just singing happy birthday for some reason. Speaking of, February 13th, somebody's gonna turn 22. Interesting enough is that there is a way to kill those two metal guys. Apparently, rusting to death is a way to kill them, but their aim is worse than some stormtroopers. I love this shot. What? I love this shot of a half-head Tomo though, like just completely metal at this point, until we can clearly see his face rebuilds off screen. Yatsu transforms himself, but at this point, I'm a little confused. Things are moving so quick, but just know that Tomo seemingly crushes Yatsu under a closing platform, bursting his head off. Looks like Tomo won, huh? Not really. Yatsu shoots a cable directly into his forehead, sending something directly inside of him. We get this mix of body footage combined with minerals and even shots of planets. Low-key, I feel like it was an origin story for this metal power. Whatever the case, it seems Yatsu has hacked his head and is feeding him the truth. We cut to the past, and two kids watch their father do a magic trick. We can see that the two kids are actually Tomo and Yatsu, and their father has metal abilities too. He basically turns a cat into this metal pot. He helped his children manifest their metal gun abilities by combining them with the weapon. They are now human weapons. This is the weapon becoming a part of them. I like how they did this, by the way. So now they can shoot projectiles without the need of a gun. They practice by aiming at a dog, but Tomo doesn't want to shoot it. Yatsu shoots it, and his mother sees it. But for some reason, Kana in the present doesn't want Tomo to remember this. Then he shows the parents of Tomo and Yatsu having sex. Sex that has the father aiming a gun at her the whole time. He accidentally shoots her apparently, but his kids are watching. Tomo gets so angry that he shoots and murders both of them. She wasn't dead yet, but he's just blasting at both of them. And just look at his face, he just didn't... He's despair. He's ultimate despair. So he kills both of his parents, and Yatsu believes that Tomo felt beauty in destruction and didn't feel bad killing his parents here. And because he was scared of that, Tomo repressed the memory of it. Well, Tomo remembers now. Looks like he will become a pure villain and aim to cause destruction. While Kana chases for the battleground, it's apparent that the two brothers are merging together. Before the merge is complete though, he begs for his wife to grab this rust gun and use it to kill him since they can rust to death. But she cannot bring herself to do it at all, which is sort of surprising to me considering how scared she is of him and how she didn't want him to cause destruction. It is her husband though. The metal cultists all awaken and converge towards the metal beings, and they become a part of this mass metal construction. Tomo literally injects his will into each and every one of them. They look like enemies from Sub-Zero mythologies. A metal fetus is shown, which is a little creepy, but immediately afterwards we can see everybody merged into the metal being to become a big tank that rolls through the city. Kana's hanging right on the side. The movie ends with Tomo, Kana, and their son walking through a destroyed city. I love this effect that they're doing right here. I don't know what that is, but I love it. But overall, that is it for the movie. Now, Kana had short hair for some reason, and honestly, when I imagine a woman with short hair, I make the connection that time passes. I wonder if this little boy is their new son, since their previous son was killed, right? Plus, we did see a metal fetus, right? But then that would mean this scene would be years after the ending at least. Well, anyway, I love this movie. I actually enjoyed it way more than the first. Now that we have gotten through, let's talk about the most disturbed moment and most enjoyed moment, and that's spooky stuff. Alright, so let's get right to it. The most disturbed moment for me is probably when Tomo blew his son up. Now, this movie isn't a traditional disturbing movie, but seeing Kana saddened by the son's death and all reminded me of Bedeviled. The similar scene in that movie, top 10 saddest moments of all time for me. Most enjoyed moment was how the metallic abilities were portrayed. It was a complete upgrade from the first movie, yet still keeping some of those stop motion like elements. I loved how this movie was kind of like a remake of the first, at the same time it was a sequel. And that's it. Again, big thanks to Cinema Nippon for working with me on this movie, and make sure you check out their masterful analysis on what this movie says behind the frames. Check out this Eastern playlist to see how disturbing it can get over in Japan, Hong Kong, or South Korea. It's always great seeing films from this region. Well, make sure you like the video and subscribe for more disturbing stuff. Thanks for watching. Spooky out.